in the mid-90s, I get a call, you're sitting down, Celine Dion wants to record your wife's Christmas song. So my first response was, does she know who wrote it?
Welcome back to the Power Hour. I'm Matt Pinfield.
This is Josh Bernstein.
It's Katie Babs.
We have Dee Snider coming on the show, rock and roll legend, free speech advocate. He was on The Apprentice. This guy's done so much.
Yes, Dee Snider, the legend, the incredible frontman of Twisted Sister and so many other things. Dee, it's great to see you, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. On vacation. We have a house in Belize, thankfully. And yeah, so this is like going into breaking away from that nice relaxed mode. But I want to talk to you guys. Matt, first I have to talk to you. You know I love you, brother. I think you're one of the greatest interviewers, most knowledgeable music people. Your Twitter posts are terrifying. Okay? I tell you. Everyone seems like a threat for some reason.
Yeah,
it just
I'm coming
seems
after
like
the world.
He's like,
oh, you
7 days sober. And you're like,
Yeah.
the next picture, he's like, it's Christmas. And he's like, Thin Lizzy rules. And it's just like, don't hurt us, Matt, whatever you want. No, but seriously, brother, so glad, you've been through hell, and I'm so glad that you're with us and you're back and you're strong. So no, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I love you, man.
Yeah,
so,
I love you too, Dee, and thank you so much, brother.
All kidding aside.
Yeah, and Katie wanted to talk to you. You wanted to mention something,
Yeah,
didn't you?
so I think it was like something about Celine Dion.
Because she's Canadian.
Oh, I thought you were going to say F you. No. Katie wanted to say something to you. F you, D.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, D, F you, man. No, seriously, let's chat about Celine Dion, my fellow Canadian.
Well, Saint Celine, please, let's show a degree of reverence. This wonderful house on the Caribbean in Belize that you see behind me is because of Celine Dion. I mean, my wife in the early 90s asked me to write her a Christmas song, told her she was insane. And in the mid-90s, I get a call, you're sitting down, Celine Dion wants to record your wife's Christmas song. So my first response was, does she know who wrote it? And he said, we haven't told her yet. I said, do not tell her Satan wrote a Christmas song. It's called The Magic of Christmas. God blesses everyone. And it's the biggest selling holiday record in history. These are special times, 14 million copies sold.
Yeah.
So this is why we call her Saint Celine.
Dee, I gotta say, looking back, I still see myself as a teenage kid who wasn't old enough to get into clubs to see you play. Loved the band. Like when somebody turned me onto it, so I went out and bought the 7-inch of I'll Never Grow Up Now, and it's just so great that we're able to, do this after all these years.
You can attest, Twisted, there's like two bodies of people. There's sort of the West Coasters who we just sort of arrived in 83, 84 when the whole scene was exploding. And we came out of England or whatever, and then suddenly like, they just like Motley Crue, Rat, Twisted Sister, we just popped up. Then there's the Northeast people, and they are contingent who knew us for 10 years. Twisted Sister was this thing, this phenomenon, this must-see, must-experience event. It was an arena concert in a club.
I love that, thinking back about that now, because as soon as I turned 18, and there were certain clubs that definitely carded you, other ones that didn't. You know what I mean? Back then, but
thankfully, my 15-year-old wife would never have gotten in. Now my wife, she was 15.
That's so cool. And did I hear a little rumor that you got a new dog?
Yes. We bought this Blue Merle French Bulldog. It's one of those things you weren't planning. As a matter of fact, there's a saying, when your kids move out and the dog dies, you're free. So that's the saying. And our kids moved out and our dog died. And it was like, okay, we can travel, we can see the world, we can do whatever we want. We have no responsibility. Yes. And then we saw this dog and we looked at each other and said, we gotta get it.
So Dee, you also, obviously, in addition to music, I feel like, you've become such as we know, an advocate for, free speech and against all your efforts against censorship.
Look, can we talk about what we're working on?
Let's talk about it, baby.
Yeah, but we've got this graphic novel that is, is ready to come out soon. And I was just working on the afterword that you guys asked me to write. And now what's going on, with censorship, with cancel culture and all that stuff. But when I was writing the afterword today, I'm curious what you'll think of it, Josh, because it's basically like, you guys, a lot of you weren't listening to what I said. I wasn't just saying, and while, I did that, just say anything you want, anytime you want, with no regard for anybody but yourself, that I'll have your back. No, I will not. So, but I still stand where I always stood. I'm proud of that.
The perception now is, you're on the right side of history. All this makes sense. You're a hero. But at the time, that wasn't historically what happened. What happened, I think you thought millions of metalheads would follow you into the halls of justice, and you were sort of naked and alone there.
Yeah, it was really disappointing to charge into battle, and we capture this in the book beautifully. Great thing about graphic novels, you get that visuals and, like that, like this carrying the friggin' flag of freedom.
Abs, a lot of big
and I just
bulges.
saw the armies behind me, and then I got out there in the middle of the battlefield, and I turned around, and I was by myself, literally by myself, But somebody recently said, Dee, not all of us are capable of speaking out the way you do. I said, well, get behind me.
I mean, you went through a lot, Dee. I mean, I remember you were even getting your mail searched. I mean, there was a lot of crazy stuff going on. You were under surveillance just for having that opinion, just to stand up for music and for the freedom of speech.
Yeah, historically, that's what the government does. I mean, Alice Cooper had a dossier on him because Nixon thought he was a threat. Alice Cooper, I said, Alice, what happened? Everybody likes me. I swear I had this conversation.
What did I do wrong?
I said, what's going on? I said, I was like the scourge, and now everybody likes me. He goes, this is what he said. This is the true conversation. Yeah, they got used to you. I said, what? He goes, yeah, you hang around long enough. This is a true conversation. You hang around long enough, and they kind of expect you to be there. I said, like Norm from Cheers? He said, yeah, like Norm from Cheers.
That's great. Dee, we really so appreciate you taking the time during your vacation to, just hang out with us today. But before we let you go, can you tell us what's coming up? Besides, we know there's a great graphic novel. We're excited about that. What else is going to be going on?
Well, I mean, I keep telling people I'm done playing, and I am, but then they hear something like I'm leaving for Germany for a Rock Meets Classic. But really, I'm just about writing. And while, I was heavily involved in the graphic novel and telling my story, but the thing I've gotten to become is writing screenplays. I've got my first fictional novel coming out. It's called Frats. It's coming out on May 22nd. I'm really excited about that. And then I've got a screenplay that I'm just waiting to start filming. It's called My Enemy's Enemy. And I'm waiting for my start date on that. I'm going to direct my first movie. So
amazing.
I'm doing all that stuff now.
That sounds great.
Well, Dee, thank you so much for stopping by, especially from St. Celine's house. It's so nice of you to join us. But honestly, thank you so much. Thank you for everything you've done and inspiring us. And we've been fans for so long and enjoying the show. And
take care.
Hey there! Thanks for watching AXS TV. Subscribe, follow, like, and do all the good stuff. And make sure you leave a comment below. I don't know, just let us know what your favorite AXS TV show is, or who your favorite bands are, and what artists you're into, or just say hi, man. I'd like to be told hi. We love hearing from you. That's the point, all right? Keep it coming.